Greetings, greetings, my friends. How are you today? We are alive despite the circumstances of life. God be praised. This topic again, trusting yourself. It we didn't talk about trust. We talk about trusting others. Do I trust this person? Do I trust that person? But really for fact, we need to ask ourselves if we trust ourselves. Because say for instance, for me as a child of God, as a believer in Christ, and you know what God is expected of me. He calls us to be disciples and all of that. And sometimes, like for me, when I was much younger, as a child, I suffered from self-confidence and that kind of thing. And it was only when I was older, I was doing this course in counseling studies. And it was only then I actually realized and understood. I understand that I lacked self-confidence.
Yeah.
And I had a low self-esteem. And even now, sometimes people says, I've said to people that I'm shy. They don't think that I am actually shy. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because of all of those things. Yeah. And then it just come right into my adulthood. And for me, that's why I tend to hide behind the camera. If it wasn't because of people who have been listening to the podcast and encouraging me and that kind of thing, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because I tend to prefer to stay in the background and push other people forward. And even when in the organization with the Nicholas Stewart Project, when I have volunteers and they would always encourage me. And I'm always shying behind. And I didn't even think of this topic actually. It was just while we were talking. I said, trusting yourself. And that is a deep, deep subject.
I agree. And I think for me, like the person I trust the most is myself. And I know that sounds really, I don't know, maybe a bit arrogant, right? But I think it's because I know I never let myself down.
Right.
You know? And even if I let myself down, I know I'm going to pick myself back up.
Yes.
And like I have, because of my energy sometimes, I'm a bit of like all over the place. So I get people that try to attach to my energy. I've noticed it as I've got older, and not in a bad way. It's not they're like dark entities or anything, but you know, people want some of it. They want a bit of your energy, and and I always trust my intuition. So I'll meet people all the time. And they'll be like, Veronica, oh, give me your number. What's your social media? And I'll be like, oh, I'm not really on social media. And it's not being rude. It's because I trust myself, right? And it's because I can't, like, I've got so many roles in my life, I don't need more people in my life. Do you know what I mean? I'm not being selfish, Jennifer. I'm trusting my instincts. I don't need to carry more weight. And I think the people that I have got in my life, like my nearest and dearest, I can be vulnerable with to an extent. Yeah. We share a bit of our vulnerability.
Yes.
You know, some of my close friends, I can talk about anything and everything. I can cry in their arms if I need to. I can show sadness, and I know they will never look down on me and be like, "Oh, what's wrong with you?"
Right.
You know. And I was just thinking about what you said. Like for me, this connection we have through the camera, even though we've met in person, like I trust this relationship. That's why I can be open and honest with you. You know, I'm not here trying to just tell you what you need to hear, because
That's
it's,
right.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I think it depends on that, the relationship you have with yourself, most important.
Mhm.
And then you kind of see all the relationships around you, and you're like, you can choose who you want to
Yes.
connect with, you know, who's going to come and take your energy, who's going to come and leave you empty, you know.
Seriously, seriously, seriously. Because you do get that.
Mm,
You do get that. And because I'm a person, for me, I love people,
yeah,
and I normally take people in in here,
yeah,
in here. So when I do that, that's why I get hurt
mm,
easily,
yeah,
because I'm not somebody who see people like there. I see people here.
yeah,
Especially if you're hurting, I take you here, right? It may not be visible, yes, but if I say I love somebody, they are here,
yeah,
right? And I don't necessarily have to come to you and say to you, Veronica, I love you.
mm,
And I don't have to be physically there all the time
mm,
that I love you.
mm,
And so these things, and taken into consideration over the years until now, you said you the only person you trust is yourself, and for me, I easily trust people,
okay,
easily trust people, and that has been it, it's it is it can be in a negative way, and it can be also in a positive way.
yeah,
The downside of it is you don't know people, because as yourself,
mm,
I meet people all over,
mm,
all over. I meet different kind of people. Everybody I meet,
yeah,
yeah, different categories of people I meet, and sometimes even my own family would say, "You can't do that. You
no,
can't
you
do
can't.
that." I trusting me. I remember even when I was in Jamaica as a young person with my children,
Mm,
I was at this school teaching into an inner city area. And these boys, teenagers, you call young people,
mm,
society would kind of mark them off.
mm,
But I took them, when they were rejected, I took them. And me, I even carried them to my home, and carried them to, even some of the church people was afraid, were afraid. You understand? But that what I did, because I trusted myself. I trusted myself to do it. I just felt to myself that they need somebody in their corner.
yeah,
And that what I did through the help of God. And I know it was God,
yeah.
because normally I don't think I would have that courage to do it.
Yeah. That's
Right?
that's pure love, isn't it? That you're,
Yeah.
isn't there that saying though, Jennifer, that, so, when you're in the dark, you reach to light to get through the
Yes.
dark.
Yes. 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 And because of that, those young men, those young men started to think differently,
Mm,
right? And they would want to come to church with me and all of that.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, and I saw and I just said to God, I said, God, it must be because I've never ever, I've only taught like kindergarten and primary level. I've never had to go into a classroom where you have here in the UK they call them PRU. PRU?
Yeah. People
Yeah.
referral unit.
That's right. That's
Mm.
right. So it was something in that in like that in Jamaica, and I'm telling you, nobody wants to go there, and and nobody told me that it was those kind of kids I was going to have, but I'm glad that I did because I know that it was God, and that because of Him I was able to show them love that they never
Yeah.
received. So much so that even the people who were the workers were saying every day cars used to come there.
No, they don't.
Guess what I'm saying?
Mm.
But that cost me too because it cost me my job because of jealousy. And then it's really hard. It's really hard. But they still found me. They
Yeah.
still found where I was living and so forth. And I was still able to guide as and tell them and try to direct them the best way I can.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful. Some of them move on and doing things for themselves. So
Mm.
God has been good. And it's just and we have to trust ourselves because our Maker have us here on earth to help fellow
Yeah.
men to be a light.
Jealousy is real, you know. Jealousy
Yeah.
is real. And
Mm.
actually, instead of and that could people that's like people's ego self, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just watching what other people are doing and maybe envying,
Mhm.
oh, they've
Yeah.
got talents or they've got things or that I lack, and then it just becomes
Yeah.
bitter. But that's
Mhm.
their stuff, you know?
I'm telling you, because because sometimes and we don't things don't just come to our minds like that.
Yeah,
There must be a supreme being
yeah,
who has been directing our path, whether you are a Christian, whether you have different faith or whatever, you go church, yes or no, there
yeah,
is a higher power,
yeah,
right? A godly power that directs us.
yeah,
And so we are not just here on earth to just live like that. We are here to help
mm,
our fellow men.
definitely, definitely.
And so we have to just trust. Remember, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Be blessed.